Festival. You are listening to SGFR, podcast radio for the festival. Now broadcasting highlights and top picks, your tasty, tantalizing tease for this coming year.
Here we are again in the interview suite, carrying on with the recording. And for those of who actually care, I don't know if anyone does or not, we happen to be recording at the very beginning of February. Of course, you will be listening to this later on because you'll be hearing this through some sort of weird time machine. But those of you who are aware, may I please wish you a happy new year, a lunar new year, for those of you who need that explained.
Thank you.
Lovely.
You're welcome.
Happy New Year, Andy.
Thank you, Frank. Now, we have the rather lovely Jessie Ford with us. Hello, Jessie.
You know that's not her name.
No, what is her name?
It's a very clever alias.
Why don't you give her address as well, and then
and my date of birth.
What's your PIN number?
And her blood type.
My mother's maiden name is.
Yeah. Yes. And her first cat.
Street you grew up on.
And the school that she went to.
Oh, memories. Now I'm sad.
So this is an interview. Let's find out some
I don't
stuff.
know.
I've genuinely not used my PIN number in so long that I've forgotten it.
I know, it's all this tappy tap. And then they ask you for your PIN out once every blue moon. You go, I have no memory of this ever existing.
I'm quite grateful for the app because it does have a section in there that allows me to get to my PIN number.
Only one of my cards has that, and when I have to get they do it on the other card, I have to get the other card out just so I can pay for something.
But to get into that app, to get the PIN number, you need another PIN number.
Well, you need a password.
Well, I remember that one.
Oh, I'd not accessed the app in many years.
I just use my thumb.
Well, I didn't have that kind of erotic relationship with my phone.
Are you still using a Nokia from the ancient days?
No, it just looks at me and deems me worthy.
Such good content.
This is a great introduction to Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Jess, thank you for joining us. Don't worry, I will remove your actual name from the final edit. So if you would like to...
Are we not allowed to say people's names
I've
in this?
worked very hard to take my name off the internet, James.
Yeah, but only Laura's mum will know it.
Well, you do know Laura's mum heads up a kind of international syndicate of identity.
Yeah, that is true.
It does make sense.
I know, she's been tracking me for a long time.
Yes, Jess.
Hi, Andy.
Now, you have the dubious honor and incredible experience of being very new to the Strange Games community experience. And as I understand it, you came to the last Strange Games Festival for the first time last year, and you also volunteered, which is why we've asked you on to share your your experiences with us.
And there's no other reasons why we've asked you on at all.
Oh, there are a few others. Yeah.
That's so ominous.
That's James's middle name, isn't it?
Yeah, so I started going to the Brighton Board Gamers group, I think this time last year, because I was, to put it nicely, lonely and looking to make some new friends with common interests. And yeah, I just moved back from Canada actually, and I think I had a good board gaming group there. So I was trying to find a new board gaming group in England. I met some lovely people, and then from there, obviously Simon likes to promote his festival on his little beer mats, and and also meeting James. Yeah,
what's up?
And then I kind of just found out about it through that, kind of through word of mouth and through being in the group. And yeah, first ever Strange Games. It was lovely. I didn't really know you could volunteer until I think James let me know I could volunteer, and then
What, he put you to work?
he did.
Whoa. Let's be very clear about what what work she was doing.
Have you heard the phrase indentured, voluntary indentured? Indentured.
Have you heard the phrase, Andy?
You actually haven't. Jess, blink twice if you need to be
Oh,
rescued.
Andy, can you see me?
Great work in this audio only format.
I'll do some more code.
Jess,
He has eyes everywhere.
what volunteering did you do at the festival?
So I think initially I just signed up for your kind of regular volunteer package, which was like a bit of like board game hosting. But then I can't remember who it was. I think me and Simon came up with the good idea that I do some photography as well as part of my volunteering.
Yeah, your pictures
Yeah.
were great from last
So I
year.
kind of did.
Because you are a professional photographer.
Oh yeah, that too.
That wasn't just plucked out of thin
No,
air.
yeah, I didn't just pick up a camera. Yeah, so I split my time. I did half board game hosting, which is kind of being in the board game library, helping people choose games and like finding people to play with, which was nice. And then
You did a really good job of that as well, because I was in there alone because my girlfriend was busy volunteering. And you found me a friend to play a game with very quickly.
It was so nice. It was nice just to talk to loads of people, and like also it was just interesting seeing like which games were being checked out a lot, like which ones were the popular ones.
Which games were being
I
checked
can't
out a
remember
lot?
now because there's ones I've never heard of, and I was like,
Oh.
oh, what's that? Like everyone seems to want that particular game, and I've never played it. So yeah, no, it was cute.
May I go back to the photography
Yeah.
that you do? What kind of photography do you do?
So I am a
professionally?
wedding photographer. Nobody got married at Strange Game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yet.
Oh yeah, Jess, I forgot to ask.
Do I have to take the photos?
You also have to take the photos, yeah. POV, you're getting married at Strange Games.
Yeah,
Is it just wedding photography, or do you do?
I mean, like, my
gatherings.
my like kind of regular job is wedding photography, and that kind of takes up enough of my time. But like, I'm always happy to do other events.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And is there a uniqueness to the way you do things that separates you from the humdrum other photographers?
well, I think with wedding photography, you're very much like you kind of like you're in it, and you're capturing things very candidly as they happen. Which is kind of what I did at Strange Games. I kind of walked around and essentially just spied on people, and was a big creep. And
But I think that's what works so well because we quite often don't manage to catch
Yeah.
those candid moments at the festival, and they just looked so. You feel when you're looking at your photos that you're actually at the festival, which is a really
yeah,
great way to promote and help everyone see what they're signing up for.
yeah,
if they've never
100%.
been
That's
before.
kind of what I wanted.
I-
I wanted people to be able to see, like, if I go to this festival for the first time, what exactly is it going to be
Yeah.
like? And
I've used one of those photos as my Facebook picture now. It's fantastic. The Photoshop you did made me look very nice.
It was also a great way to like get in, all the sections of the festival that I wouldn't have necessarily have gone to because I'm very much a board gamer.
Mm.
Did a bit of role playing, but like I'm not a big social deduction person. But then by doing the photography, it meant I had to go into that section and talk to those people, which was a good thing.
We have a delight for you, Jess, because the very next section of this recording is going to be with Kat, who will be focusing on social deduction games and so on. So maybe after that conversation,
One
you become
day.
a convert. One day. But before we leave the photography, would it be okay? May I have your permission to plug your business at all?
That's a very complicated question, Andy.
You've opened a can of worms there, my friend.
Well, I actually
Have
work
I?
for a larger studio, so they kind of own me.
Okay.
But
Oh no.
The indentured
Servitude.
feel free to reach out to me personally.
Do you do independent work, or is it just through the
I mean,
business,
it takes
the
up all of
large
my
one?
time, so I end up not doing much independent work,
Okay.
but I am always happy to take it on.
Then okay, right. Well, folks, and do have a look at the photographs that Jess took. I underscore what Laura's saying. There's a kind of authentic candidness about that just captures the heart of how much fun we have, how well we get on. You can see it in the interplay, in the people, that you clearly have an eye
Oh,
for it.
thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. There had to be a reason for getting you on the show. How else was the experience? What happened at the downtimes? Were you properly looked after as a volunteer, or did you get that kind of thing where you're thinking, I don't really know what I'm doing?
No, I think it was great. It was very much kind of managed over email and Laura's lovely spreadsheet. So it's very clear. I didn't. Well, I mean, there was one time I was late for my volunteering. But Simon did come and find me, and he was like, "Jess, you know you're meant to be volunteering right now." I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah.
Blacklist.
But no, yeah, it was all very lovely, very friendly, organized, and I mean, with the amount of time I spent volunteering, I still had time to enjoy the festival as well, which was.
What was your highlight of Strange Games Festival?
I mean, this is like a secret one though.
Oh.
It was.
Oh wait.
It was
Okay.
it was James's secret game.
Oh.
James, which
what was
James is this?
which
is it
secret
James
game?
we
Your
know?
10 candles.
Oh yeah, that's not a secret. I've spoken about it
right.
many times on there, but that was
Yeah.
very good. And thank you. Yes, I lured a small group of us out into the middle of the woods and found a table, and we played 10 candles, which was genuinely haunting this time because you couldn't really see anything outside of our little circle of light, apart from one.
Can I ask if you did it with actual candles, or if you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Amazing. I've played 10 candles a couple of times, but never had the ability to use real fire.
I will say this, and I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. There is no point playing 10 candles if you don't use actual candles. You lose so much of the tension and the experience.
What happens in 10 candles if a real candle just goes out because of the wind? Have you just lost it?
Time.
Yeah, you lose your
Wow.
that's one of your lives gone, and that's why it's tense. When we were playing when I was playing with Jess, like it started to rain in the middle of the game,
Oh.
and if the candles go out, you die. So you literally, like, everyone grabbed umbrellas and were trying to like
Protect the
cover up.
candles.
Exactly, yeah, and it only like rained for like a minute, but like there's a real tension when there's actual fire there. Like if someone sneezes or like accidentally moves and knocks a candle out, you don't relight the candles. You're one step closer to
Wow.
death. And so that
It's a bit like real life.
exactly, yeah.
Your life is measured in candles, Andy.
Yeah, and they don't get relit.
Well, this is true.
So sad.
That's a really nice, really like,
Tragically nice.
bit of a bummer there, Andy.
Anyway, that was my favourite game.
Really brought-
Nice recovery. That's really good.
But yeah, the whole festival was just so much fun. I didn't really know what to expect in terms of like how much to. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, like how much to pre-plan and how much to just kind of go with the flow.
Oh, sorry, you go, Andy. You go.
Thank you, James. Your generosity is generous. Jess, as a Canadian,
Ooh.
what cultural differences have you experienced in the types of festivals you've been to compared to Strange Games?
Ooh. I've never been to a festival in Canada.
At all? I thought.
No, I only lived there for 6 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but I have to say,
But
like
your
in,
accent
I
is so
know,
accurate.
when I lived in Toronto, there is a big gaming community there.
Yeah.
Quite a big nerdy community. So they have quite a lot of board game cafes that are just overflowing all the time, which is lovely.
Does the experience of playing in those cafes relate at all to the experiences you've had here, either at the festival or the Brighton Pub Board Gamers?
Yeah, I feel like the British gaming atmosphere is definitely more like it's more casual. It's actually, which is weird because you would think the Canadians were more friendly, but I actually think the Brits are more friendly. Yeah,
Oh.
Take that,
I
Canada.
know.
Or maybe it's just our wonderful community.
Maybe it is the community.
I think it is. I don't want to be rude to the rest of the UK, but Brighton
Yeah.
in general, I think, is a very friendly place.
Yeah, I felt very welcome.
Here's my question for you. Now that you have been and done one Strange Games, what will you do this year at Strange Games? Like now that you have that experience, what will you do differently to kind of prepare yourself, plan your time?
I think that's it. I will plan my time like a little bit better. I I mean, I think it's good to split your time between kind of not planning and planning. But I did go in last time with no plan, and I did end up wandering around for a lot of time. No, but it's just fine. So I think next time I'll kind of like pre-arrange with some friends, a couple of games we might want to play and when we would be free to do them, and kind of make a soft plan.
I got to remember, I do remember, I'd like to mention, if I may, the experience I had coming to the first Strange Games Festival, which was pushing about 5 years or 7 if you include
It was
COVID.
back in Lodge Hill, wasn't
Back in Lodge Hill, when the numbers were pushing around 180, maybe getting towards 200. And very, very few organized events were going on. There was a hubbub at the beginning of each day of people saying, yes, I want to run this RPG. I want to run this particular game, a kind of dry whiteboard of ideas and so on. And I did feel that I was missing out on a lot, but I was not spending any time doing nothing. And how we are now with the festival in August, which actually has a large number of organized, facilitated activities. A lot of thanks goes to Laura for holding and facilitating that, in comparison to the camp out, which, as I understand it, is much more back to that sandbox, come up and rock up. So the reason why I'm asking that is that comparison of, do you have a preference? Do you want things to be really organized? Or is it this or that kind of organic, we're just all gathered together under canvas in a field?
For me, I liked that the RPGs were like pre-organized. But in terms of board games, I kind of like the idea of just rocking up and finding people to play with, and whether that's people you know or new people. But I think the RPGs can be a bit chaotic if not organized. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the RPGs at the camp out this year aren't going to be necessarily as pre-organized. I think there probably will be a few that will be organized, like on Discord and the like. But I will be running a thing every morning where people could come and meet people, and people will pitch like games they want to run that day, and then everyone will kind of do kind of what Andy described there, actually. But in a kind of friendly, fun way, like the RPG meetup that we run.
Jess, thank you very much for bringing the insight you had and bringing the kind of view of the kind of every person. It's nice to have James and myself watered down, because I totally recognise we are a bit nerdy and a little bit into ourselves.
No.
Speak for yourself.
You've been listening to SGFR, the podcast radio channel for the Strange Games Festival.
This season's hosts have been James, Laura, Andy and Craig.
And if you'd like to come on the show, message us on the festival radio channel on the Strange Games Festival Discord server.